I don't think there's anything in the world that I love more than giant robots, and I know for a fact that I'm not the only one. Giant robots, or whatever you want to call them, have been very common in media, and I believe that's what made 2012 Pacific Rim so special to me. Not only because it was a movie about giant robots, but it was a good movie about giant robots. Pacific Rim delivered a fun action-packed movie that featured plenty of giant robots fighting giant monsters. For me, Pacific Rim is a pretty good movie. However, its sequel, Pacific Rim Uprising, was terrible. Today, I want to talk about Pacific Rim The Black. I felt incredibly disappointed after watching Pacific Rim Uprising, so when I first saw the trailers for this show, I thought I wasn't going to be happy. But to my surprise, after watching it, I I, I liked it. If you're a huge fan of giant robots or you just have Netflix, I highly recommend that you go watch Pacific Rim The Black. You're in for a treat. This show was a pleasant surprise, and after watching the episodes, this show was very intriguing to watch. Not only because it delivers some fantastic fight scenes, but it also surprisingly delivers some very interesting characters as well. And the sibling relationship between Tyler and Haley, who are the two main characters of the story, and our brother and sister, in my opinion, was very well done. The main plot of the series focuses on the two siblings that learn how to pilot an abandoned Jaeger to find their parents in a post-apocalyptic Australia that has been overwhelmed by kaiju. This series has a very emotionally engaging story, and I was very invested in the characters and their relationships. I usually don't watch anime unless there's a good reason to, and often try to avoid anime that has a 3D style to it. I personally enjoy watching 2D animations, but when 3D animation is done right, I think it can look really good, and in this case, I think it's done really well, especially in the fight scenes, which I did enjoy, of course. I love the art style in this show, and it does such a brilliant job at capturing this world very nicely, and it adds a lot of life to it. One thing that I think this series captured really well that Pacific Rim Uprising sort of failed at was the sense of scale between the Jaegers and the kaiju. You really do feel like you're watching giant monsters and giant robots fighting each other, and it just makes the fight scenes so much more enjoyable to watch, just like the first Pacific Rim movie. I mean, because you've been shown how big these things are, and I just love seeing destruction. I'm not sure what that says about me, but I don't care. I just love destruction. Don't judge me, please. The only issue I have with this show is how short it was. This show currently only has 7 episodes, and I just wish there was just more time to go in depth with the story, because after watching this show, it leaves you with more questions than answers. So, I guess we're gonna have to wait for season 2. Whenever that's gonna happen, probably in like 10 years or something. Overall, I think Pacific Rim The Black is a fantastic show, and I think it's redeemed and expands upon the Pacific Rim franchise. It takes the series into a different direction, but at the same time, it also feels like it has the same heart and soul that the first Pacific Rim movie had. There's also tons of giant robots fighting giant monsters, but you're also there for a really heartfelt story and this emotional bond between the two main characters. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'm gonna wait for like a year for the next season. If you're a massive fan of Pacific Rim or just have nothing to watch on Netflix, then I recommend that you go check out this show. So anyway, I'll see you next time.